treat.
Welcome everybody to the treasure trove.
Yay!
Hey, this is our first pilot episode. We're going to actually start July 11th.
Yeah.
But we've decided since it's July 4th, we would have an episode where we introduce ourselves in our new format. And Dale will be explaining a few things here. Dale, of course, Coin World UK.
Hey, everybody.
We're going to have some fun here, especially since it's July 4th, because, and of course, to our U.S. friends, happy July 4th. We're going to be talking about the American Revolution from the loser's perspective.
As I would call it from this perspective, it was a glorified retreat.
A tactical retrograde.
Yes. We had other things to go on the other side of the world anyway, so we had better things to do.
So Dale, well, let's start off with, you can explain a little bit about our new format starting on the 11th of July.
Okay, I can't see chat. I'm on my phone because I've been doing a few things. I must clarify that first. This is just completely spontaneous, and our treasure trove new live stream, our new format, is basically founded and discovered by this gentleman here. I can't see my hand, Numerous Maniac, and we was talking about doing a collaboration stream. And as you know, the reason why he came up with the word treasure trove is because there's a whole load of treasure trove people out there doing collections, collectibles, whether you're doing coins, exonumia, to collecting stamps, trading cards, fishing, you name it, people collect it. Beer tops, match cards, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's new or old, toys, or even rubbers, like the little pencil rubbers you get on the pencil.
You better be careful. That's a different thing in the US.
But yeah, Zoe used to collect them, and but even people collect McDonald's toys, and things like that. So that's the whole world of treasure trove. That's what it means, basically. I don't know if that's going to be for everyone, but we now I've just written this out a little while ago. So we will be doing our streams on Monday. That will be this gentleman here. He'll be doing his on Monday, and I will be doing mine on Thursday. But between that, we'll be doing 2 streams. So it'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with just a general coin chat or collectors chat and things like that as well. So it's for everybody. Everybody is welcome to come and join us, have some fun, let us know what you're into collecting, what your favorite purchases was, what your worst purchases was. It's supposed to be fun. People interact with different types of collections. Whether you're collecting coins and you're looking for a stamp, we can do some kind of fair trade. So we can moderate a trade. There is going to be a game, but I'll let Numerous Maniac talk about that in the meantime. And but anyway, going on from there, we're going to be more interactive with the chat, with the channel, with the stream, and we'll be asking you guys, because you come in, you want to know about things. If we can help you, we would, but hopefully the stream can be more interactive with each other by telling us what they collect, what they would like to collect, so we can take you down the right path rather than being, as like we've all been there, we've all tried doing things on our own without any experience, and we've fallen off the rails. And so everybody in here in the stream will help each other, and what to look for, what's not to look for, where to go, where not to go. Now, I do collect, or used to buy, fake coins, so people knew from a real coin to a fake coin. And but it's so much we can talk about, so much we can discuss, and this is a no end huge void where people come onto the internet and they want to meet people, and we want to make people feel welcome. have some fun. It doesn't matter about numbers. We're not worried about how many subscribers you got. We want you to make you feel welcome and enjoy yourself, and talk about what you've been up to with your collection, where you are, where you're at. You could be, anything. And the world's a treasure trove of collections, and that's what we're trying to get at. So over to you, Mr. Numismaniac, sir.
I'm just reading some of the comments. Try again. If you sit still, anybody will collect dust.
Yeah, exactly. That's the House of Lords for you, anyway.
Oh my goodness, we got what? Try again. Evil Arch Conservative, John Pierce. Have I missed anybody here?
I can't see chat.
Get some early birds. I got them. Yeah, John Argent is in. Excellent.
Oh, John Argent.
Yeah, great. As Dale was saying, it's going to be a unique event where two channels have come together so that we can cover both sides of the planet and try to give a convenient time for everybody, and everybody gets a chance to participate and to play, because twice a week we're going to be playing a game, a wheel, that's going to be basically pay it forward. It's going to be a lot different than anything you've ever seen online before.
Oh, yeah.
Because the potential is pretty great. Well, the first thing I would say is anyone that wants to play the game better have a little bag or an envelope handy. And what we're going to encourage people, it's not going to be very, very costly for anybody to join this thing, because what you're going to do is, if you want to get on the first wheel, it's going to cost you 1 silver dime or the equivalent.
Yeah.
You put that piece of silver into the envelope and your name, and you let us know. It's an honor system. We will put you on the wheel, and the first at the end of everybody joining in, we'll run the wheel, and the first person off will get their name put into the second wheel.
Yeah.
Now, once you're on the second wheel, you can't play it again. That's it for the month. That was your go. So that's your contribution. So twice a week, we're going to run this wheel. Now, you can play it as often as you want, as long as you haven't won the first wheel.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, we have the second wheel. This is pay it forward. That one, everybody that has won on the first wheel will go on the second wheel, and it's last man standing.
Yeah.
So whoever wins the last person taken out will win all those dimes that have been collected from everybody that's participated. Everybody mails it into the person that won on the last wheel.
Absolutely.
So the more people that play, the more silver dimes that are going to show up in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Completely unique, completely different than anything else. We call it pay it forward. So it should be a lot of fun. Now, that's just one little game that we're going to add in with everything else that's going to go on, because this is going to be about history. It's going to be about all coins. It's going to be about, I don't care what you collect. Pins, metal detecting, if you want to do magnet fishing, whatever you want to talk about, everything's treasure. That's why we are going to call ourselves the Treasure Trove, because we're going to be able to discuss anything, and of course we're lovers of history that ties in with it. So we're going to definitely be doing that. And so today is kind of our intro to let you know that we're going to tweak it and make it a little prettier, and get some nice little banners and all the trimmings. Dale's working on that, thank goodness, because I'm inept when it comes to this sort of thing. But it should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And the best thing about Numismaniac, we get to learn about other collections.
Yes.
And the other collectibles that we probably never heard of. We've heard about it. We don't know what the goal is about those treasures, so that's whether it's postcards and other things. You just never know. So that's what makes it unique as well, because everything has history to it, and that's what we like.
Mm-hmm.
And
The other thing we're looking at too, Dale, is we're looking at people are going to have the ability to swap coins. Now we're not going to be selling any coins on here,
No.
right?
Right.
But we're going to give people the ability to make contacts. And if you want, if say for instance, one collector has got a coin that he's looking for or she's looking for, and someone else has something that they might want to swap, then we can arrange for them to tie into one another and do some trades.
Yeah,
because
there is going to be some rules and regulations about that, because obviously if you got two I'm just putting this out there, I don't know the key date. So if you got two Merc dimes and somebody says, "Oh, I got a Merc dime and it's this," and somebody says got a Merc dime and it's that, and you send it, it's like one is completely crushed to bits and the other one's perfect condition. That's not exactly a fair trade. So we're trying to do it fairly, correctly, and there's no untoward to anybody. That's what we're trying to avoid. We don't want no controversial issues with anything. And by the way, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, by the way. And I can't see you in chat because I'm not on my computer. I'm not on my phone. I apologize.
I'm keeping an eyeball out here. Treasure Woman, hi.
Hi, Treasure Woman. Hi, EAC, John Argent. Who else is in the chat? Because I can't see.
Try again. John Pierce.
John Pierce.
My goodness. I think that's it so far.
But yeah, it's going to be quite a lot of fun. And obviously, this is just a pilot episode of what could be grown into something improves over time, like a fine wine. So my wife
as long as it doesn't go skunky.
Yeah, I don't want to be caught. But yeah, I mean, I collect all sorts of stuff, as people may know. I collect coins, I collect banknotes, this is numismatics. Actually, I think Numismaniac may like this sort of thing. Now, this is some of the stuff that I do. Now, these are fake. This is a Mexican coin, I think. That's Chinese. This is a fake Mexican. That should be silver, but it's like it's
oh yeah,
foil. So so this is what we're trying to. This is what we're like. I go out purpose. If I can buy it, then I will have it, because counterfeit sort of stuff still has value, funny enough, if you believe it or not. And there's something that Numismaniac may like, actually, that I got here somewhere. And if you, my plan was that I wasn't expecting to go live. I was just so I got all my stuff out here because I wanted to put everything into world bits and sort out my gifts that I've had from people and put them safely away. I found a load of tokens and things. I'm trying to find those tokens again. I bet you at the bottom of the barrel. So if anybody in the chat, I can't see chat, so anybody in chat, you're here because you collect something. So what is it that you do collect? I mean, whether you collect 5 different things or 2 different things, or it doesn't matter.
John collects rocks, shiny rocks.
So is that like crystals and minerals? And
I know a lot of them have the tumbler and they like collecting them and then put them in the tumblers to make them nice and pretty.
Yeah.
John says, I think I'm going to share some fireworks with the moles in my yard today. I haven't seen a mole in years. I'm out in Alberta, so I don't see too many of them. I'm pretty sure they're here, though.
Have you seen that one? This is...
So it looks like is that a Hudson?
No, it's just a token.
I know, I'm just trying to...
It's a picture, but this is probably... This is from our SO Tiger token,
Oh,
which would be Exxon in the United States.
right.
So yeah, this another
EAC collects watches as well as coins. That's cool.
Ooh. Actually, she might be able. Actually, I know Treasure Woman collects Russian watches.
I thought she collected bees.
Bees knees.
White
yeah,
Mojo Wolf says he
well.
has a decent NASCAR collection, but he hasn't bought any in a few years.
Now, I used to do modeling. As you said, you saw my Lancaster. I have
I love it.
Different.
It's good thing you're not living next door. I'd be looking to get it off you.
If I can fly, I'll send it to you. There'll be another invasion. But as we're our topic today is going to be the 4th of July from the perspective from here. Sorry, I wasn't expecting it. I got everything out. Actually, I'll just quickly show you.
I caught him off guard today, guys.
There you go. Look. I don't know if you can see all that. Look, that's my thing there. There's just tons of stuff. So
that's cool. Shows you're busy. Yeah, have a nice walk there, Treasure Woman. Enjoy being out in the park with your kids.
Whoops. There we go.
We got Las Vegas Urban Treasure Hunter here. Oh boy, I tried to visualize what it would be like to doing metal detecting in Las Vegas, 114 Fahrenheit. Oh, I melt when it hits 70.
That's because you're in the cold climate.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I wanted to get this sort of thing sorted and done. But we're going to be talking about the as it's the 4th of July, it's the US for the servicemen and women. So I'd like to say thank you for keeping us all safe, everybody. You as well, Skipper. You ex-serviceman yourself, and you've told me some blinding stories. But yeah, as from here, I'm just going to get. As you know, King George here.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to see this very well because it's a very dark coin. Was more or less responsible for the Revolutionary Wars. We want the tax. I think it started out in Boston, if I remember rightly.
The Boston Tea Party. Yeah.
And of course, that's where the militias come down. They started using militias or something like that, if I remember right. I'm not using this at the top of my head. So
well, you got to remember that after the French Indian War, that started in 1754.
Yeah.
So between 754 and I believe it's 1760, the colonials were brought in and trained as militia then under the Redcoats. So they were actually British military, but reserve. They're militia, and they were being trained. So they were a lot of these Americans were already trained. So when they started to get upset about the no representation in the British government and the unfair taxes that King George, thank you, King George, they rebelled. So the 13 colonies were under rebellion, and they ended up because they were already trained, thanks to the French Indian War, they developed their own military. Which essentially most of them were citizen farmers, Minutemen, a lot of them, where they weren't in uniform yet. And then you ended up, of course, we know the look of the American forces, blue coats, and we had the red coats.
That's it, yeah.
Right. We saw the development of the British, which were really spread thin during that time, as you know. They sent as many as they could, and I believe the commanding general was General Cornwallis. Went in there, and he was up against George Washington and guys like Benedict Arnold and whatnot. By the way, Benedict Arnold in the beginning was very loyal, but he got spurred by the military. He actually was bypassed for promotion, and his wife, I think he was at West Point at the time. His wife was a British loyalist, and it was her father that convinced Benedict Arnold to turn traitor on the Americans, and he joined the British forces. And he wasn't given very much of a job at all. He was kind of, okay, you're a traitor, we can trust you, we'll put you in these shitty jobs, and that's what he ended up doing. And but Cornwallis was fighting George Washington, who, by the way, was losing. They were having a heck of a time. If it wasn't for the Minutemen and the colonists pulling themselves together, they actually managed to rout the British, and of course the French finally joined in.
Yeah.
And it was when the French came in that really helped win the war for the U.S. So you got to give it to the French when they came in with their navy. They didn't like the British anyway.
No.
Yeah, and remember too that the Americans actually attacked Quebec. They felt that Canada should be part of the United States, and they lost that battle.
Yeah, that's an unknown part of the history as well. That's like a bypassed history with the Revolutionary Wars, when the Americans attacked Quebec and lost. So unless you actually really read into it and know, you would obviously find that out. So as you said, we had so much going on over the world. The British were spread thin. So we had the East India trade wars going on.
Actually, try to mention that the ship that had the tea dumped into the harbor was actually East India trade.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was actually true. And I can't remember the name of the ship, but that's where the Tea Party come from. So yeah, I can't remember the name of the ship. I think it's actually killed over. I think they kept the ship, or they scuttled the ship, and they just, or whatever they did. I can't remember what they did with it, but it was a strange. It could have been avoided by not taxing the Americans for kicking the French out in the first place, in all due respect. And that's from King George II.
Yeah. You also mentioned that the United Empire Loyalists, most of them were business people.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And in the book, it does tell us that
they pay homage with the.
They're the ones that ran north.
Yeah. So no matter where you were, the businessmen. Actually, one of the key points is the would be reverent with Leonardo DiCaprio, where we're using the fur traders, and if you were using herbs and spices, no matter where you were from in the world, everything passed through England, and that paid a tax. So you're only protected by the Royal Navy, Marines, and Army, if for that reason. But other than that, it was self-governing. So that's what. There's so much going on in that particular period. It wasn't just American Revolutionary Wars; it was the whole world was changing.
Yeah, John Pierce says the ship's name was the Dartmouth.
The Dartmouth, yes, that's it. That reminds me. Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know whether it's scuttled or they kept the ship for themselves. I think they actually may have used the ship for themselves, in fact, and I think they just dumped the cargo overboard. I think if you actually jumped into the Boston Harbor, it's probably some of the barrels are still there. So if you want some free tea,
yeah.
Um,
and you know today how they're pulling down statues, all over, especially all over the U.S. Well, in 1776, The American rebels pulled down the statue of King George III in New York City after they heard the news of the Declaration of Independence in July of 1776 during the War of Independence. New York City underwent 7 years of British occupation during that time. A lot of people don't know that.
No, and there's another thing about the the US flag, is that the first US flag had the Union Jack on it, and that was
instead of the stars,
instead of the stars and stripes.
They had the stripes. They had the stripes.
The Union Jack in it, and that was commissioned by George Washington, and it's still on his tomb today.
They call that the colonial flag, did they not?
The Cambridge flag.
The Cambridge?
Yeah, the Cambridge flag. And that's still on his tomb today, but that lasted 1 year because obviously when you guys won the Revolutionary Wars, obviously it replaced with the I think it was the circle. I'm pretty sure it was the circle stars for the 13 colonies, if I remember rightly. Not sure which way round it was, but yeah. I think you have to certain. I think it's called the Cambridge flag. I'm not 100% certain, but
I'd have to look it up again. I don't know if it's on.
I've got no information in front of me, so this is just complete guesswork.
1776. Also, New York was set ablaze by the rebels. So, because it was occupied by the British. Most of them were the stores that were United Empire Loyalists who ran.
Well, a lot of the stores were owned by. That's where you get the markets. The markets itself. What's the word? If you got the word union in your street, there's likely to be a market there back in the day, which would have been torn down because everything we paid for, all the luxury items or non-luxury items, everything was paid to tax to the British. So everything just got destroyed or used, obviously. So you can understand why the Americans, the South back then, were upset because, it was a needless war, really, because I think it was sort of, as everything, most things to do with one word, and that's greed. And that's what basically, because King George II wanted his tax. The advisors, when they actually met, I believe some of, I think actually George Washington come to England, and they even said they don't want to pay. We don't need, why this is just the king. King George II was kind of crazy anyway. I think he had Alzheimer's. In all due respect, I think he did. I think that was his problem because he was classed as the Mad King, but that's also based on Game of Thrones as well. He was a bit of a Mad King. So, the British advisors didn't really, because you're going to get taxed, and money's going to come through anyway, regardless which channel you use. He just thought, well, we kick the French and the Dutch out, we should get paid tax for all that, but didn't need to really in a long perspective. But yeah, it's it brought out the Bill of Rights. There's a lot of history that went on with the Bill of Rights. The Declaration of Independence was brought in. It's a really interesting stage of the world, and this day. In 1776, 1775, I think it started. Is that right?
Yeah, 75.
So yeah, it's from that point. So yeah, it's actually really, really interesting. I wouldn't like to have been around in them days. No, thank you. But
no, not a pleasant time to live in. I see Crafty Dragon says, if you guys want New York City back, I think you won't get much of an argument.
Well, Philadelphia was named after a Londoner.
Yeah. EAC says the flag with 13 stars in a circle was supposed to have been created by Betsy Ross. I think there's some argument about that, but the tradition says it was Betsy Ross.
Just stick with tradition. Yeah, stick with tradition. I think that's probably the best way. Let's you know, we went there, so let Betsy Ross keep it. Why not?
Scrapping, hoarding, tinkering funds in the house.
Hey, Scrapping! He was live earlier. I was so busy doing so I couldn't get into his live. So it's good to see him. Good to see the great man himself. I can't see, so I apologise. I'm literally on my phone. So
so am I. John Pierce is there. He says, I think we should maybe have a Washington, D.C. gasoline party. Well, I'm not going to Washington for our party. We got Ottawa having parties.
Washington, D.C. gasoline party. Isn't there a rumor with the White House? The reason why I call it White House is because it was the British set it light, so they painted it white.
That was the War of 1812.
Oh, it was the War of 18. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know. I'm just, as I say, I'm just flickering off my brain here. So my brain's broke. So it's official. So I'm trying my best.
It gets better with age.
Yeah. Is it?
Oh yeah. What?
See, that's the thing with
what
coins.
did I do yesterday?
The thing is with coins, when you go searching, like we did the other night with the cob, we found out so much new stuff I've never even heard of before.
That was fun. I enjoyed doing that.
And I enjoyed that. That the time just shot through. And this is why things sort of, when you're collecting anything that's, you know, of no matter what, I can say coins, gold, silver, you know, it's got age to it, or anything, letters, stamps, whatever. When you actually go and this stuff pops up, so you start reading, and you read more, and it sort of like sponges into your brain. I mean, we've seen some great history when, you know, with the history and coins of yours, we've seen some great history pop up. I've actually gone back to actually read some of the highlights we had, you know, and that was really interesting. But yeah, this is what I love. This is what I signed up to when I wanted to do coins and stuff like that. I know from many years ago. And when I come onto YouTube, I didn't think I'd ever be doing this. So this is an absolutely gift for me, anyway. So, and we're all in doing the same sort of. Yeah. No matter what you're doing, you're all doing the same thing. We're all collecting the history and the story behind what you collect, and this is what the treasure trove is all about. But as you say, it's a special day on the 4th of July. You know, it's independence, and I do believe countries should have their independence, regardless. It shouldn't have to always go through conflict. It
seems to be never ending, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's always like, I mean, was it 3 or 4 days ago? 27 countries reassigned under sovereignty again. That went independent, and now they're back under the sovereignty of the Queen. So, and that was voluntary. That was, you know, you don't have to go out and now we're trading with them. So, which is good for everybody. You know, it brings in economies boosting, and so that's a good thing.
Yeah, John just wrote. He says, "I love looking into what was happening around the world during the period when a coin was in circulation," and that's exactly what we're all about.
That is exactly what this is. This is. I was like, you know, nail on the head. Basically, that's exactly what we do. We've always talked about the story behind every coin that's been minted that year, and but yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've got some stuff. Oh, look, there it is.
That's why I fell in love with this. We had a lot of fun looking at this one. It's a 1700s Spanish cob, and pirate. It's a pirate coin, and we were trying to figure out a little bit more detail on it. We were kind of a little bit close, but we couldn't get the exact design. But we have a rough.
We have an idea what it is now. So that's what the guy at the museum said. It's really difficult because you got that. You needed one more detail to get in there, and it'd have been okay. But he just said, just put it down as a European cob, and then it should be fine. Because even back then, back in the 1600s, people were. It doesn't matter what many you had, long as you had something to trade or barter. It didn't matter. It was not like, oh, that coin belongs to that country, that coin belonged to that, because you had internationals. Whether you was on a Spanish galleon, you didn't just have Spanish sailors. You're more likely to have Asian sailors and French sailors and Spanish, Portuguese on that ship. So it just changed hands. No one's going to go up with, nobody's going to go up to. I mean, even the Royal Navy had kids on the ships as midshipmen and other things like that.
Cabin boys.
Yeah, cabin boys and gunners and all sorts. Marines. They had Marines at 11 years old. So nobody had like you go to a shop today, they get like a security pen and rub it over. They didn't have that type of technology back then. As long as you can go and spend it, you add the goods of it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
we discussed this before too. That in the colonies, silver was at a premium because the British didn't want to send silver over.
That's right.
So a lot of the silver was coming from plunder from the privateers or whatever else they had there. You saw a lot of Spanish, a lot of French. Anything they get a hold of was silver, but you weren't seeing any British stuff. You saw some copper.
Yeah, there's many copper and bronze.
Yeah.
And there's another little fun fact about coins. I always keep forgetting to put in my when I do attach a perfect coin to do this with. If you got one in your hand right now, which is the cob, that actually ties in with one particular coin, and that's a George Washington quarter. And the actual metal, if you can guess what the metal is called, right? I'll give you a minute. I keep forgetting to put it into my descriptions of my videos, but I keep if you can guess what the word is within 1 minute, I'll be very, very happy. It's a certain metal it's a certain type of metal. You get them in Roman coins mainly. You get them in pirate coins, but it's a specific name for it, for the metal. Bion or billion. Billion. I think. Billon. It's a silver. If you have I can't search it, but it's Boiillon. I haven't got my other phone on me, so I can't search it.
Yeah, Nick says Pute. Crafty Dragon says bullion. But he's saying
bullion is a whole thing, but it sounds like bullion, but it's not bullion. It's bion or bullion.
Yeah, someone wants to look that up. Let us know. That's interesting. Also, did you know we talked about the French when they joined the U.S. during the Revolutionary War? They came in very late. I believe in 1777, but it was the British actually had a second invasion from Canada, went down to Fort Ticonderoga, and if it weren't for the French joining in, they would have won that.
Yeah. I mean, we were gaining actually more territory at the time. We actually gained a lot more territory, if I remember rightly. In conflict, because we won a lot of battles. May not have won the war, but we won a lot of battles, and we gained territory. But the British, the thing is, if you actually look at the colonization of the world, the British didn't actually go inland. They went on the shores. That's why they didn't want to go too far into the United States.
Well, you're talking supply lines and everything else.
Yeah, it was logically stupid to do that. When when England or Great Britain ruled the world, there was only 22 countries who didn't invade because they were landlocked. And obviously some of them European. And it would just been pointless going, so like Africa, pointless going all the way through Africa for no reason. Because as I say, it's the manpower had been too thin, and it had been, and you go into Africa, it's going to be more deserty than it is green, because obviously water. And it was Navy, Navy wasn't very good at going inland. That's not what you do. So that's why the British stayed on the shorelines of everything rather than going into the actual land. 90% of the world, the British. So yeah, has anybody found out that word yet?
Crafty Dragon writes the Bilon, B-I-L-O-N, an alloy formerly used for coinage containing gold or silver, the predominantly amount of copper or other base metal. There you go. Bilon, B-I-L.
It's a French word, I think.
Bilon.
Bilon. It's a French word. I think it. Oh God, hang on. Oh my God. Log, I think.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, Urban Treasure Hunter wrote there were many American flags. The Stars and Stripes was adopted during the American Revolution, June 14th, 1777.
Yeah, when the Star-Spangled, I think, is the anthem, right, for the United States.
Oh, the Star-Spangled Banner.
Yeah, is about the flag at Fort Sumter, I believe.
Wait a minute, let me think on this now. Fort Sumter, isn't that the one where the Civil War?
Yeah,
but that wasn't Frank. It was.
No, it might have been Fort Sumter.
No,
I think it
another one, and it was Keyes was the guy that wrote it.
That's right, Keyes. That sounds familiar. But because it was not the only thing to burn. It was a flag that obviously was not burning. So it was
he was watching the rockets, and you could see he was on a ship, and you could see that the flag was still flying.
All the
rockets going off. There is Francis Scott Key. He wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. I remember reading the story, but it was really quite interesting that he actually scribbled it down while he's actually watching the event.
I mean, a lot of people don't realise. With the Canadian flag and the Union Jack, it doesn't matter what the flag. But the reason why, and I suppose unless you're in a service personnel in the United States, and people think, hang on a minute, the flag's around the wrong way. It's not. That's because when they charge, the flag faces backwards, so it's going into the wind. That's why the Stars and Stripes are reversed, because it's like they're bannermen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see a guy with stolen valor with a flag around the wrong way, he's fake. Because the stripes have got to be facing on the right hand side, not on the left hand side. So it's quite interesting, really, when you think, the logical way of looking at it. But yeah,
Nick Molnar writes, I listened to the full version, the Star-Spangled Banner, all 12 minutes of it. 12 minutes? I didn't realize it was that long.
I didn't know it was that long. To be honest, me and Zoe were saying the other day, I think the Americans got a really nice anthem, to be honest. You know what I mean? I think they have, personally. We were saying that, weren't we, the other day, weren't we? I was listening to it on TV, and it's like, it's actually quite catchy. You can probably hear yourself accidentally singing it. It's just do 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 do. But it's supposed to be quiet. It's not supposed to be. There you go, la 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 la. It's not supposed to be done that way. It's supposed to be quiet.
I'm thinking here, was it really supposed to be quiet and like being in church?
Not like blast. You know, you get some of these professional singers and they blast out and they get to another bit where they're struggling. Yeah. I was watching a documentary about the anthem itself, and it's supposed to start off really slowly, and obviously, because obviously all anthems mean something, but it's supposed to start off really softly and then build up. But because they start really high, they got to get higher, and they're like, you know what I mean? It's like they're ripping their throat out.
Oh, yeah, Lady Udi. She just wrote here, written in 1814. In 1931, it became America's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The poem originally was titled "The Defense of Fort Mchenry."
Mchenry, yeah. That's it. I said Sumter. I got it wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. We had a Fort Henry too in Canada. Not McHenry, but Henry.
I can't see chat. I wish I can see chat. I really do. Hello, everybody. By the way, if I'm destroying your 4th of July, I apologise. I don't mean to. I got no information in front of me, so.
I think we've added quite a bit actually. We're going through it. Because, if you really want to see what happened to the United Empire Loyalists, go to St. John, New Brunswick. Okay. You walk in St. John, Old St. John, that's downtown, and they have the Loyalist cemetery there that they turned into a park. Now, it's not often you see that, but they've actually made it into a park. So you can wander in, have your picnic lunch amongst the tombstones, and people spend their day reading over these things. And almost all those that are there were the American Loyalists that came up to Canada to live to avoid persecution from the revolutionaries.
Yes. Wasn't there quite a lot of was that the Civil War where was it the Civil War that was introduced with the Medal of Honor, or was it the American Revolutionary Wars?
I couldn't answer that. Maybe someone in chat can, but I don't know when they brought in that particular decoration.
Okay, that's a good question. When was the declaration for the Medal of Honor introduced? Was it the Civil War or was it the American Revolutionary Wars? I don't know. That's actually a good question.
We'll see what pops up in chat. Crafty Dragon says, "You guys are doing fine. It's nice to have a conversation that's not a major argument." There's no argument here.
No, there's no arguments here.
No argument. We're talking history, and history is cool.
I mean, the way I like about it, if I get something wrong, it's not an apology. It's something that it slips your mind. So, and it's nice to be on. It's nice to actually talk about this rather than trying to. I don't know what's the word. Trying to be better than somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Take care, Nick.
Is Nick going? Nick, no,
yeah, he's going out, probably hiding in his shed.
He's going to be panning, I bet you, or he's going to have a barbecue going.
Oh, he could be. Yeah. Well, thing is, it's July 4th. You can celebrate what you want up here, but
he's found some great coins.
Oh, tons. Yes, he's right into it too. Lola Udi says the first formal system for rewarding acts of individual gallantry by the nation's fighting men was established by General George Washington on August 7th, 1782.
Oh, just after then.
Any singularly meritorious action, the award consists of a purple cloth heart.
Real. So he actually awarded they were recognized after the Revolutionary Wars, which is good.
Came in a few years after.
Yeah. So there had to be some kind of system where these that was probably down to George Washington to put his foot down and said these guys need to be recognized as heroes, sort of thing, So
EAC's written something good too. Only about a third of the colonists supported the revolution. 1/3 didn't care either way, and the remaining 1/3 supported the king. So you can well imagine there were a lot of people that left.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them were, as I said, a lot of them were noblemen and businessmen.
Yeah.
So, they didn't want to lose their businesses. They probably were loyal to the king because, they were bread and butter, really. They were their protectorate. And not only that, if you went against the king and you went back home, you had your head chopped off. Or go into the oblige, whatever you want to call it.
Did they have them here?
Yeah.
Even during the late 17th.
Yeah, they had them. Tower of London's got one. They used it, and the oh my God, what's the other one called? The one that makes you go into despair. It's something daughter. It's called. And imagine the size of a fireplace, a really small.
Oh, I've seen them. They're horrible.
Yeah, and you sat there for days on end. You just crouch. You can't stretch.
Yeah.
You can't stretch out anything. Something daughter, it's called. You got the oblige. So you just forgotten about. Just
yeah. The scrape you out after you've rotted away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crafty Dragon just wrote the Medal of Honor was first given in 1863 for the Civil War.
Okay. So we now know 1863. So the Boer War was after that, right? The first
the first Boer War was in the early 1800s or 1900, well, whatever you call it. So I think
Victoria's Boer War, that was 18.
Oh, that was 1899 was the second Boer War.
So because she obviously introduced the Victoria Cross, obviously that's what, isn't it, Victoria?
Right. Yeah.
And that was done from a French cannon. It's still made. It's like a kilo of a French cannon.
Yeah. The British Victoria Cross, but the Commonwealth now, the Commonwealth nations make their own. So Canada actually has their own Victoria Cross. It looks like the original, but it's actually a Canadian version of it.
There's 8 blanks that has been dormant now since the last one, because the makers, there's only one company in England that is commissioned to make them. They got the Royal Charter to make them. They got 8 and they're blank. And the guy said the metal they're made from is worthless, but it's the history on the person that makes it valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just didn't know that when the Medal of Honor, which is what we're talking about for the 4th of July, I didn't know when that was actually introduced. But at least the soldiers got something to, recognition after or during. But yeah, it's harder to get one now. That's why you don't see them very often, because it's difficult to get any kind of recognition as it's recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But what other fun facts do you know, Skip, about the?
Oh my goodness, there was so much that went on there. It's almost mind blowing. Well, of course, we had the Battle of Princeton that took place January 3rd, 1777, where the Continental Army actually surprised the British south of Princeton, New Jersey, and that's where they routed the British. So it's give you an idea there. That's what it looks like. There you go. U.S. beating the British at Princeton.
It was just back and forth all the time. I don't think, unless there was actually a resolution, it would have gone on for even longer. I believe, anyway.
Yeah, and it was another one that happened was the Battle of Germantown. It was the first time Washington risked attacking a large British force. More than 100 British soldiers were actually put hiding in a house that you see on the right there.
Sounds like Rorke's Drift all over again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
like, okay.
Battle of Judicar, or whatever it's called. Remember that? Have you heard of that one? Judicar. It's similar to that, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. One of the worst things I ever heard was Valley Forge. When of course it was probably one of the worst winters ever, and the American forces were not adequately dressed, and they had a lot of problem with frostbite and whatnot. I'm glad that they actually did pictures up where you can actually see how bloody miserable these poor buggers were. You can see they are not
happy. So what is that book called?
It's called an encyclopedia.
I thought it was actually going to be specific for the.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because back many years ago, I'm talking many years ago, I sold these. It's the same one. So when this encyclopedia salesperson, this is years ago when they actually did sell them door to door, came to the door, and she did the same prospectus. So it was the same spiel that I learned. It was 24 pages long. So I would have been, oh yeah, that's pretty good. She came in and she started doing it. I said, stop right there. Don't say another word. I'll buy one. Her trainer, she was a brand new sales lady. Her trainer runs out of the car going, you can't do that. I said, what do you mean you can't do that? I'm going to buy one. She says, no, I'm trying to train her. She's got to go through it. I says, oh, come on. You mean say I've got to go through this again? I know every word she's saying, and you're going to make me sit through it. She said, but how am I ever going to train her? I said, fine. I hope you're going to give me a bloody discount. So they sat down, and I had to go through that spiel with that poor girl, where she knew she had the sale. I just wanted to buy the bloody thing. Anyway, this is the set that I use. But back in, I think, 94, when they stopped making them, my yearbooks stopped. So I got no yearbooks after 94. But I held on to them.
Stuck.
You know what? They are a great reference. It's instead of going on the online all the time.
Books are great in that. I mean, that's what I used to read all the time. I got loads and loads of books out there on encyclopedias and.
Oh, and you watched National Treasure, right? With Nicolas Cage.
We have watched that, haven't we? National Treasure.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. He was part of the Gates family.
Yeah.
Well, that's General Gates.
Oh, okay.
General Gates. He actually accepted the surrender of his sword from British General John Burgoyne.
Is that where the sword ceremony comes from?
Yeah.
And the passing, is it like the peace, passing the sword? I can't remember what it's called.
The Crafty Dragon says, Dale, it's a book, not Google.
I haven't got. I'm doing my best. That's all you can do.
Yeah, this is actually really fascinating. Going back through this, I wish I had more. Anybody have any old coins from that period besides us? Besides us, I'm gonna put the link in again to see if anybody else will come up.
How many people in the chat now?
What do we got? We got 9 watching.
Oh, cool. Hello, everybody to the 9.
Oh, no, not again.
Finally, I got a phone to use. Thanks, babe. Right.
Forgive me, I'm really bad at this. Hold on. It's one of those wonderful glitches that we have to get rid of. There you go. Goodbye. Trying to cut and paste the link, and it's just like, oh, come on, give me a break with this back feed or feedback. It's got to be an easier way to do this.
Revolutionary War, revolutionary.
Okay, there you go. Oh, I'd be willing to take a look at some replica coins there, Crafty Dragons, if you want to come up. Now that I've got the link in there without the feedback, that's wonderful. I remember reading about, of course, Navy. The naval battle between the Bonhomme Richard and the 44-gun British frigate Serapis was one of the most famous in American history. At the height of the battle, when the captain of the Serapis asked Jones to surrender, he replied, "I have not yet begun to fight." I've heard that before. That's very cool. So that's the
Is that one of the ships of they called Ironside or something?
I don't think that's an Ironside. No, Ironside actually had iron. There's Davy, our friend John Paul Jones, not Davy Jones.
John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones is a real frigate, isn't he? Is actually named after his frigate named after him, right? The U.S. frigate.
I'm not sure. Maybe our U.S. friends will be able to tell us.
I think John Paul Jones was the one who actually sailed to England and actually got into Cornwall or Plymouth and set some of the ships alight, if I remember rightly. He didn't follow orders or something. He sailed a frigate all the way to United Kingdom or something like that. I think it's John. His name really rings a bell.
Mr. Doughboy 356. Hi, I used to live a couple miles from where old Ironside is.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, because I think the British had a bit of a shock because British still used wooden ships and they fired the cannons and it bounced nothing.
I believe that was one of the events that actually took place where they discovered, oh, got tough skin on that baby. Yeah, you think
Ironside is still in business.
EAC says it's tough finding a 1700s coin on your property. You should try it here. You'd have more luck, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, you find them easy probably. I mean, there's so much red tape around here now of metal detecting, but I do actually have some. You can find them quite easily. I wouldn't say that they're, the really good ones are really cheap to buy, but you can get them. I have got some.
Well, now you got me curious. Check my magic book. See if I got any of the old. These are my older ones. Oh, well, unfortunately, that's pre-Revolutionary War, but not by much. This is back in the days when Britain still had some colonies. I think I got this one from you.
Which one's that?
1744 halfpenny.
Oh yeah. No, that's not from me though. Unless you change the flip.
No, I didn't change the flip. That's not my writing. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't see it very well, but
no, that's not my writing.
Don't think I have any from the Revolutionary War days. definitely don't have any U.S. stuff from that time period. No.
I think I might have. Do you know, I ain't got a clue what I got. Well, I do have a clue, but I'm not sure if I got any from that period.
Yeah. See, I do collect Great Britain and the U.S. Yeah.
Going back in time now. 18s,
Hello.
18s, 1887, 1900.
Yeah. Not a lot.
1875. 100 years out so far. It's amazing, though, 100 years out from, from it's like 200 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
King George II.
Oh, I remember that movie.
What movie
If
was that?
you ever want to watch an interesting movie, look up the movie The Swamp Fox.
Okay.
That's very interesting. It was about Francis Marion. He was known as the Swamp Fox. He led his partisan band across the Petey River for an attack on the British outposts in South Carolina. Marion was one of the most successful of the guerrilla leaders who carried Lord Cornwallis and his troops in the South.
Wow. I'll have to check that out. Right. In one of my boxes.
And it's interesting that when the Americans won the revolution, they allowed Cornwallis to march his troops out of Yorktown, and they actually had a parade. See if I got that one there. I see that. Oh, there we go. It's the parade of the British being marched out of Yorktown.
Well, that was a bit like on obviously it's going to be a bit earlier, I think, with the Last of the Mohicans. You ever seen that film where the French marched the British off?
And actually, it was 1783 when George Washington finally entered New York City after the British finally abandoned it. So even though the U.S. became a nation July 4th, 1776, it was still, New York City was still occupied well past it for like 7 years.
It's crazy. I mean, it's not. You just can't even fathom it with your mind, can you? Let's see what I got here.
Yeah, I honestly feel that it's so important to not forget where you came from, despite some of the cultural differences that would not be acceptable today. You got to keep that in a proper perspective, because we today may not accept a lot of the stuff that went on and won't allow it to happen again. But at the same rate, there's something good. 1754.
The year before, this is a farthing. King George II. Good old King George II. I know I got more somewhere. But what we're talking about, that coin is from, so, and then end up in my collection. It's like whoa.
Lola writes, and a little further down the road is the Obadiah La Tourette gristmill. There's so much to see and research. My neighbor's father was an editor for the New York Times. She's living history. That's what's wonderful about having people that are into that sort of thing. You can draw on their knowledge.
Absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about a subject or going through a lot of subjects, you sort of get this pop up sometimes, like, oh yeah, I remember that bit, but actually having a whole thing about it, from the Commonwealth side of things, it was a big deal. It was a huge deal, and it's interesting, I'm just trying to find a certain book.
You're looking for a certain book.
Yeah.
I know I put it here somewhere.
There we go. Let's have a look for, I might have something in here that is going to be. Might have and have is two different things, right?
Mm-hmm. So how many here have flags in their homes? Not just for your country, but for others.
To be honest, we had, for the European Cup, we had the England flag and the George Cross, but unfortunately, we don't have any more.
Ah, well, bear with me. I disappear from the. I'll put you up front so everybody can see you.
No.
Yeah, and I'm going to grab.
I'm sorry if I can't see chat, guys. But as I said, going back to our treasure trove stream, which is going to be kicking off in next week. Hopefully, we'll have everything all in place and ready to go. But I hope you come back and join us and have fun. Any input helps. That would be absolutely big help there as well. Where's my Romania coin gone? So I'm just trying to find. I know I've got a few more coins from the time period. So, but I've had these books for years and years and years, and I swapped and changed around so many, like we all do. But newest maniac, I know he's got a few flags. So I don't know what your answer is going to be until Skipper comes back. There he is. Talk about the man. Whatever I said wasn't true.
Okay, so as you can see, this is the flag, the Union Jack that lost the Revolutionary War.
Not quite.
Not quite.
I don't think it had the red stripes going through it.
When was Queen? Well, it was Queen Anne that designed it, didn't she?
Yeah, so she introduced the red stripes. Oh no, it's King James VI, I think. Yeah, it might have been actually then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sure this was the one.
Yeah, that is the one.
That was before George. And this is not the flag. But I happen to have one of the. This is actually a big one.
Man, that's a big old flag, that is.
Yeah. One of my hobbies is collecting flags.
And that would be a flaxologist.
Is that what you call it?
I think it's a flaxology. I think it is, or flax. Now I got a phone. I can sort it out. Hang on a minute. So many clips.
This is the red ensign, but this particular one is the one that was flown for Canada during World War One.
Yeah.
So it's got a slightly different look to it.
On there, if you go back to your, you got the George Cross, and you got the seven. Is that the provinces there, isn't it?
That's right. That's all the different parts of the country. So you got Nova Scotia and
Nova Scotia.
PEI and Ontario. Of course, you got the George Cross there, and the French.
You got Quebec and all
Quebec.
that.
Yeah. It's but again, this has changed since as well.
Yeah, flexiology. That's it. Flexiology. A person who collects flags. Beep. That's a big finger. Oh, hello.
Hello.
It's me again.
Beep, beep. Yeah, that's why whenever I send a grab bag out, I usually send a flag with it. And you're going, wait a minute, I never got a flag.
Yeah.
Because
that's the point. I never ever had a flag. I want a flag.
You want a flag?
I want a flag.
We'll work on that. I'm looking for a Christmas flag now.
Not like an Hawaiian one then.
Oh no, that's my shirt. That's coming. That's on the way. There we go.
45. Do you know what? I'm pretty sure I got 17 something. I know I got British, which I just showed you, but
way to go, Lola. Someone else that collects flags. That's nice.
A flexiology. Or a flexiologist.
Vexillophile?
Yeah. Begins with V-E-I-L-L.
Vexillophile.
Yeah.
That almost sounds nasty.
Yeah, you don't want to set up when you've had you don't want to set up when you're drunk, put it that way.
Have a great day there, Neil. Enjoy your 4th of July.
Neil, I didn't know. Sorry, Neil. I can't see chat, my friend. I apologize, my friend.
Yeah, Neil did say the British flags changed slightly. I fly our flag too every day, and every once in a while I'll go out, check it, and if it needs some servicing, I'll either get it cleaned or get it replaced.
That's one thing you don't really see around here is hardly anybody flies a flag.
You sure make up for it during jubilation and stuff, though.
Yeah. When that comes out, it's just red, white, and blue everywhere, or white and red everywhere. But one thing I noticed when I was in America, almost every house, especially obviously I was down in Texas, Dallas, and when I was just driving around, because I thought, what I'm going to do is just drive. I don't care where I end up. I'm just going to drive, right? And I didn't know where I was going, and I was just driving around different areas, different suburbs of places, because I don't go where the tourists go, and I will go and do what you guys do, because you live there, right? So I got in the car, my brother was at work, and I just drove around all these different streets, didn't know where I was, didn't know the name of the streets or anything. And almost every house had the United States flag somewhere or another on their lawn. And that's something that really took to me. And I think, why don't we do that? You know what I mean? But it's like so proud of your country, and that's what really took me. It's like, we're all proud of our countries and patriots or whatever, but the fact is almost everyone had a flag somewhere on their porch sticking out, like, the bigger the pole, the better you were, I guess. I don't know, but it was like it was really, really nice to see, to be honest. And that's one thing that I found different that we did over here. You do get the occasional people that do have them. You know, they have the George Cross and the Union flag, but I don't know what you do in Canada. I know you said you got one, but I mean, if you drive around, do you see a lot of the Canadian flags everywhere?
Yeah, including on the cars.
We don't even do that here. I don't know if you noticed that we don't have that here. You don't. If you look at one of my videos, there's no flags really anywhere. Not even the Royal Ensign or nothing. I suppose we got a lot of them on the coins, so we don't really need to say that. But yeah, it's kind of strange, really, that it was just literally there was more blue, red, white, and blue than there was green for grass. You know what I mean? It's like whoa. And I tell you what, I did see. I do have a picture somewhere. I saw this guy. He was like out in the porch, spraying some water on the lawn, and he had this huge, massive stallion horse statue. I mean, it's literally coming up to his second window. And I said, "Can I take a picture?" He goes, "Yeah, of course you can, no problem." And I thought it was really, ask that over here. He'd probably say, "Well, get off my garden, go back down your own end or something." That's what we go. But yeah, he was actually quite happy. I asked him if I can take a picture. I said, visitor here. I think that's really, really outstanding because the detail of the horse. It was that like Spanish horses. They sort of perk up, and it was well detailed. I mean, and big bloody thing, the statue. He goes, "Yeah, take a picture if you wish." That's what they're for. So, I think he's probably more or less surprised that someone actually asked permission rather than just doing it. I think that's out of respect, I think. But yeah, I'll tell you what is loud: fire engines in the United States. Man, I was walking down the shop and one went past me, almost blew me a bloody ear. Drugs out.
Guess they have to.
Yeah. Like, what the freaking? I was like, that. What?
Yeah. Yeah, see, I had a DNA test done. It cost me about 125 Canadian. I don't know what it is now, but it can't be much more.
I don't know what they're asking in chat. I wish I can see chat.
Texans are very proud of their state. Yeah, I've noticed that.
I was down in Mchenry, and I went round to Allen and all that area, El Dorado, and my brother lived in El Dorado in Dallas. I just thought, well, what's the point of going back? I just drive around everywhere. It was my first day, well, my second day there. I took my brother to work on a Monday. Never been there before in my whole life, and I thought I'd just drive around and see where I end up. Got lost anywhere, so that's the whole point, right?
I'm just going to check on Crafty Dragon here. Sent a picture. See what. Go to my mail. Oh, there it is. Oh, the replicas. Okay. Move things around a little bit here so I can actually see it. That's.
Lauren's got a new hoodie. She's got Brooklyn, New York on it. There we go. Talk about the Revolutionary Wars. There we go. Look.
Huh.
Wait, you're off out for a walk now, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna kind of tell me if you can see that. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the replica.
Oh.
Pretty good replica, actually.
1, 2, 3. Is that the 13 rings? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I see the states on there.
Pretty cool, though.
says mind your business. I was looking for the word own. Mind your own business. Is mind your business.
Yeah. Hey, leave my coins alone.
Well, if you can't afford the real McCoy, you know, having the replicas is better than nothing, I guess.
Absolutely. Bye. You're off out on their walk now, Lauren and a little doggy. Wow.
I got some more here, I guess. Oh yeah, those ones are good. Hostibus primo fugatus.
Is that something like never forget or something? Shall never forget.
Bostonium. They actually put it in Latin. Bostonium recuperatum.
Recuperatum.
George Washington. Oh, that is a very cool coin.
That's pretty cool. That's actually probably one of the best designs I've ever seen on that, actually.
Look at this.
Oh, it's like a crown. There you go. That's a British coin there, definitely.
Wow.
You got the Irish harp there, look.
Hibernia, 1751, I think it says there.
Yeah. Hibernia, it must have been Hibbs.
George II king.
Yeah. Oh, look, that's a nice one. That's Scottish, isn't it?
I see the rampant lion in the center. I can't really tell.
Because a single lion is normally related to the Scottish with the red lion.
Yeah. Unum.
Unum, out of many one. Can't see that one very well. It's like a horse's head, but I can't see that one very well.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Oh, there's a nice one.
Oh, hang on a minute. That's definitely British. That's definitely British. That's got the St. Edward's crown on there. 1757 or 67?
That's what I think. It's 57. I don't know. That's an odd looking character.
I knew sometimes they used letters as numbers, so
that's definitely US e pluribus unum.
Yeah, out of many one.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it's
that was cool.
In our British writing, sometimes they would get letters, or say in old English, if you look at it that way, not old English, but I'm about coming up from. They took away the Roman numerals for a while and replaced it with weird looking. So a 0 would look like a 9, but it's actually a 0. It was like crossed over, so it was like that shape. I just dropped my hand, so it will look an upside down fish. It looked like that, so that would be a 0.
You just screwed up your lifeline.
Yeah, I got eat poison now. But yeah, that's it was kind of, it looked very Arabic, our writing, going back in the day, back those days. So if you ever see a building with those sort of writing, it's not like it looks like it's been some bits and missing. That's how we used to write back in the day. It's probably how I write today, actually.
If we were to time travel back 200 years, we would have trouble understanding people.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's not just the communication; it's the thought process as well.
The thought process, the writing would be drastically different.
Yeah, they were even. I mean, that's the same. Like if you had a landmine sign, like the skull and crossbones on the thing, like we do, in 400 years' time, they probably won't even know what that means. It language is forever changing all the time, so it's actually quite funny because if you go back to in like Henry VIII, he wouldn't have a clue what we're talking about today. Like,
heck, I have trouble with it, for Pete's sake.
I think that's what's so good about Latin, is that it was a universal language. And it's still used today, obviously. So,
Nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Amen.
Yeah, the numbers. Lola says the numbers we use are actually Arabic, but you're seeing such a mixture in our the English. I mean, we've got the Romance language and all the different styles that are thrown in, a hodgepodge. We're a Heinz 57.
Yeah, we are. Exactly. It's a hybrid language, isn't it? So, especially with the Anglo-Saxons built in with the Danish and French and Portuguese, it's all there.
Yeah.
It's very, actually, British is very closely related to Russian. If you look at it, you can actually sort of look at the words and see that, the word cafe is just almost the same. But the actual true close to Anglo-Saxon writing and wording is the Celtic, which would be Welsh and Scottish, and Irish.
Dale, Jason just popped up.
Hey!
And he's just stopping to say hi. He's on a road trip to Georgia to see family, and he's stopping to eat. Jason, when you get a chance, get in touch with us. We need to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We need you.
we need you. Doesn't it feel good to be needed?
As Lord Kitchener would say, we need you.
We take the English because we've been taught the English language. There are so many odd things about it. We're using the same words for different different things, for one thing. That's a big one. Canada even gets more interesting because we have a different spelling for the center of an object, or a center for a shopping center.
Yeah, R&E.
Okay. Yeah. Whereas you go to the States, it's not done that way. We at color, we don't spell it COLOR, we spell it COLOUR.
Well, so you put the U's in yours, like we
put
do.
U's in ours, yes.
I think though, one with two words in the American language, so to speak, I think you got the word mum correct. Mom, MOM, because to me it's like mother, as we use mum as in MUM.
Not in our house. Remember, I married a Brit.
But aluminium is actually incorrect. It's actually the American way of doing it.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. But because the guy who actually invented aluminum, but yeah, he that's how, because he was actually American. That's how he pronounced it. So, but because of the science and whatever, they said no, it's got to be pronounced aluminium, which is incorrect. So there you go. It's quite weird, but I mean, a lot of words mean one thing can mean so many different. But it's just.
Sorry, Crafty Dragon. Mom equals mother. Mum equals mummified.
Go, mom. Do you do the MOM? No, you do the MUM, don't you?
In our house, yes. But outside the house, it's mom. I grew up with mom.
Mom.
Yes. Jason won't be back until Sunday.
What?
Oh, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy yourself, brother. You deserve it. And thanks for making us hungry, by the way. I must put that out there. That lovely way you done that egg.
Actually, I just I just looked at the time and going, hunger. You had to mention food, right? I'm making spaghetti with meatballs today to celebrate July 4th. See, it's what I do.
It's tradition.
Well, I wouldn't say it's tradition, but
Spaghetti meatballs.
I like spaghetti meatballs.
Zoe makes a great spaghetti and all that sort of stuff, but I've not tried it with meatballs yet. I'm not really a meatball fan, so.
I make them the size of bigger than a golf ball. They're a good size.
Like a tennis, like a baseball.
Well, not quite that big. That's too big.
Football.
That's a meatloaf.
American football. No, but Zoe does an absolutely amazing chili. So she'll do it in meatballs next time. Anything else like that with pasta? So that'd be something new for me because I had meatballs once and never again. I don't, you know what I mean? I try one thing, if it's off, that's it.
You're off it.
Yeah.
Permanently.
Period. Yeah. But I'll try it. I mean, I would never eat anything growing up. It was literally just yogurts and Angel Delights, and that was it. That's why growing up was like odd meal there and then, but mainly growing up it was just that. And when I started eating hot food was later on. My sister cooked this spaghetti bolognese, and it was disgusting, and I never touched it until Zoe made one. And you're talking that was about 25 years later. So and I can't get enough of Zoe's. It's just like 3 o'clock in the morning. You're making that spaghetti bolognese in it for breakfast. It's like, huh?
Lola's going. She watches so many international programs. I do get to where I understand the subtitles and help to you make them the Italian way. Actually, to a degree. I mean, I've done it for my own family's palate. We don't like it too savory. I actually add a little bit more sweetness to my sauces, so that it's got a little bit more, little more of the sweet than the savory.
Yeah.
You know, I find that if it's too savory, it kind of throws my stomach out of whack. So, but I do like to add a little bit of cayenne into my sauce. Give it just a little bit of a bite, but not too much where it burns your face off.
I understand. I mean, I'm quite happy with spicy food, personally. But
onion, garlic, green pepper, you know, a little bit of vinegar, sugar, lots of oregano. You know, that's the sort of thing that I'll put into my sauces. Of course, I make my own sauce as well, but I love garlic. I think garlic is like garlic and onion is. You
can't beat garlic. I love garlic. Zoe loves garlic, but it gives her an upset stomach. She likes tomatoes. It also gives her an upset stomach, doesn't it?
Did I forget basil? Oh yeah, true. Or two.
But yeah, you can't always eliminate stuff you like if you know. But I love hot and spicy food. Don't bother me.
I would last 2 seconds. I'd be popping diclofenac like crazy, just trying to get through the day.
I can really go out and eat a really hot Indian meal, not a problem. Where people they've gone through the gym, you know, they're like sweating like that. I'm like, this is tasty.
My family actually, I'm just reading what Lola says here, pertain to the size. American Italian restaurants make them large. In Italy, pasta is just an appetizer. Yeah, I do make a little bit larger portion, not as big as in the U.S., but fairly good size, because I also include Parmesan in my sauce, but I also love mozzarella. So what I do is, after I've laid out my sauce and my meatballs on top of my spaghetti, I put on the mozzarella and melt it.
Oh, sounds good.
So it's quite messy, but my kids love it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that when you're making something like that, it's not designed to look nice either. You can't make something that's going to be.
Well, it doesn't look nice after you eat it, so why worry?
Exactly. As long as everybody's got a smile on their face and food comas are happy.
Food coma is a common thing that happens in my house.
Food comas.
That's why I had a protein shake for breakfast, because I needed that room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to this on Monday. I'm streaming tomorrow. If everyone wants to. I might do an early stream tomorrow because I was at work from shut at 4.
Just send me a message and let me know when you're on. And
okay. And then I'll probably do one again in the evening. Because I might have to need your help actually. Because I've got so much stuff here.
Well, I'm not traveling all the way to your place to clean up your mess.
Because
if that's the case, you can come help me too.
Is that right if I go to Canada, babe? She went, I don't know what it was. Some kind of language.
Yeah, I got to get the place cleaned up because my daughter's coming back to she's arriving on my birthday. My birthday is July 8th. Actually, my birthday used to be July 4th.
Used to be.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Since it is July 4th today, I'll explain this. I grew up celebrating my birthday on July 4th. I did not know my mother had no memory for dates for her own kids. I could not figure out why my brother was born on Christmas. My other brother was born on Valentine's Day. My sister was born on Mother's Day, which really screwed us up because every once in a while she'd have a different day. And I realized my mother had no sense of memory for birthdays. So when I enlisted in the Army and I put down my date when I applied for my birth certificate, I needed it. It came back July 8th. And I'm going, what's this? They got my date wrong. And my mother says, oh, no, that is your birthday. Then she tells me, your father was drunk when he registered you. He says, you were actually born on the 4th, but he registered you on the 8th as being born on the 8th. And so I said, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, that was a lie. My father was not drunk when he registered me. She just didn't want to own up the fact that she couldn't remember my birthday, and it was easy to remember a holiday. So after I found out, I said, piss on it. I've celebrated my birthday on July 4th forever, but my real birthday's 8th. I'm celebrating both. So I said, I was born on the 4th and the 8th. And my family's going, how could you be born on the 4th and the 8th? I said, simple. I got stuck and it took me 4 days to get out.
Just imagine if he was born if he was born on the 29th of February, you just reached teens.
Oh no, that would be awful. That would be awful.
You'd still be at school.
So anyway, this feels like my birthday, but it's not. And I used to like it on July 4th because when I lived in Windsor, Ontario, we lived in bungalows, and being that we're right across from Detroit, they used to haul in the river this giant barge filled with fireworks, and all the fireworks would go. What's my birthday, right? So I take the lawn chair, and you remember a bungalow has a sloped roof. We would put the chairs over. You're in the middle of the freaking roof, and we sit on the chairs on the top of the bungalow watching the fireworks going. What a great birthday! Oh, everybody's celebrating my birthday. No, it wasn't my birthday. I was 4 days off.
Oh my god, so funny.
Gosh.
I
Anyway.
told Zoe about your Bonnie and Clyde car.
Oh yeah, that was a whole different story, and it certainly wasn't related to July 4.
It was like more or less might as well have been.
Good grief. Oh, that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
So anyway, my friend, I think it's time that we call the stream an end for today.
Okie dokie.
But by all means, everybody look for us. We're going to be. I'm going to be the first one on July 11th.
Yeah.
And Dale does July 12th. I do July 13th. He does July 14th.
Yep.
4 days in a row, but different hours. So we'll be posting the times and the dates, so that you have an idea. It's going to be pretty awesome.
It is going to be amazing. I'd like to. I'm sorry I can't see chat, guys. I apologise, but thank you for joining us today. It was a spirit of the moment stream, anyway, wasn't it? So
it was very much so. Caught you off guard.
He did. He's been looking for this day.
I need it. I mean, it's July 4th. Come on, we've got to say hello and let everybody know. You know, hey, we're the losing side. We're going to celebrate too.
Yeah, we've got to celebrate the losers.
Anyway, God bless everybody. Have
Absolutely.
yourself a wonderful
Have a great
July
rest of
4th
the day, guys.
and
Get the fireworks out there.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
You still on for 5 minutes, are you?